We are live.
So, a very warm welcome to all our viewers. Welcome to episode number 26 of IT Talks on the topic of tourism and hospitality industry with IT. As it's an IT Talks, or else we could just have taken up travel and tourism industry, as it's a very vast thing to be discussed upon. Also, a very happy new year to each and everyone, as this is our first episode in 2022. We wish you a great success in this year, and let's start with the today's event. So first of all, before moving ahead with today's event, I would welcome our guest for today, Dr. Abhijeet Sarkar, sir. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Thank you, Shivang.
Also with Dr. Abhijeet, sir, I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Miss Sneha Kamalpuria, who is an student from Atharva Institute of Management Studies currently, and pursuing her MBA in specialization of HR. Luckily, the same specialization which Abhijeet Sarkar sir also has done.
Oh, good to know that.
So moving ahead, and before discussing with the topics and moving ahead with today's discussion, I would like to give a short introduction about Dr. Abhijeet Sarkar, sir. So Dr. Abhijeet Sarkar is currently working with Sharekhan Limited, and 100% subsidiary of French multinational bank BNP Paribas. He is the senior vice president and country head administration and procurement. In terms of his qualification, he is an MBA in HR, BCom, doctorate in management studies, and qualified interior designer, certified Six Sigma Black Belt, certified procurement and supply chain manager, and certified Scrum manager. Fellow with Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyor London, members of Leaders Excellence, Harvard Square, and certified green building professional from Asokam Gem Green Building Council. Dr. Abhijeet is a co-admin procurement and infrastructure personnel and eminent speaker. Have strong recognition with fraternity. Have various accomplishment in the field, and one of them being getting selected as a core member of Group Admin Forum constituted by ICICI Bank. Have received various awards from the fraternity towards various contribution also. Have worked in prominent organizations like ICICI Securities, TNT India, Bombay Dyeing, Piramal's, etc. in a leadership position with recognition by each organization. He is also serving as an honorary board member on the board of INFHRA, an industry board and a member based on not for profit association, working towards the betterment and promotion of the facility management administration, travel, and corporate real estate fraternity. He is also acting as an advisory board member of Indian Institute of Business Management and Studies. So it's a very good it's a very big introduction to you, and I guess these words are also very short if I move ahead with that. So moving ahead with today's topic, sir, I would first of all thank you for giving us your time and having giving us your time for this event particularly. So, if we talk about particularly about tourism and hospitality industry, as we have mentioned that you have a good amount of experience in that. So, first of all, I would like to know what basically comes under tourism and hospitality industry, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Shivang, for my prolonged introduction. And before I answer your query, I would like to thank Atharva Institute of Management Studies and also Dr. Shubilal for giving me again an opportunity to connect with students, which has been always my passion. So, and I really take an honor and feel privileged that, the first session of the year is being conducted by me. So that's really an honor for me. So now, coming to your question, you are talking about, what are the, vertical that comes under tourism and hospitality. So I would like to, explain it in a simpler way. Hospitality is a tree, basically, and it comprises of various branches called as industry. So in hospitality, there are five different industries which are associated with. So the first one is being, food and beverage industry, which means, the restaurant, food court, food joints, pubs, so on and so forth, wherein people or, the customer experience, the fun of food and, the other stuff. The second comes, lodging and boarding industry, where people experience their, staying factor, like hotel, motels, service apartment, so on and so forth. The third comes is, recreation industry, wherein people experience the entertainment part, like theaters, amusement park, and theme park, and so on and so forth. And the fourth one comes to travel and tourism industry, which is also one of the branch or subset of hospitality industry, which is one of the biggest vertical or biggest industry which is falling under the hospitality industry. So if I have to talk about travel and tourism industry, which is divided into two parts. The first is, corporate travel, wherein employee travel is being taken care by the corporates, and the second one is mines and incentives program, wherein the events and other things are being considered. So these are the part of travel and tourism industry, and the fifth industry is basically events and MICE industry. MICE basically stands for meeting, incentives, conference, and events, wherein the larger conferences or get together for the organizations are being managed upon. So hospitality industry is quite a big vertical and adds significant value or contribution to the GDP of the country. And COVID has really disturbed the whole industry very badly, because in post COVID we have seen that industry's fraternity members, literally 36 million people have lost their job in this industry. Many hotels were shut down, many airlines were restricted and their services, and due to various travel restrictions. And apparently, if you see, in 2019, India was the third highest contributor to the GDP. India's GDP contribution to the GDP grew by 4.9% as compared to the previous GDP, and it stood third in line with China and Philippines. Uh, from 2014 to 2019, India has created 6.36 million jobs, which is highest among any other country, followed by China and Philippines. So hospitality is a very emerging sector, but then hopefully we have also seen boom as and when the unlocking started. But unfortunately, with Omicron coming into picture, the sector got affected very badly because of various travel restrictions. Otherwise, we had a notification of opening up of international airlines and tourism again back from November, but which again went on abeyance because of the Omicron issue coming up. So this is all about the vertical which falls under travel and tourism.
Thank you, sir. This was a very brief and apt explanation for the question which Shivang asked. And I just noted that you very briefly explained how tourism is related to the hospitality industry. So
Correct.
I would like to know more about it. Can you please focus a bit more on the relation of tourism industry to the hospitality industry?
What does hospitality mean? Hospitality means giving an experience to your customer, and anything wherein experience is involved become a part of hospitality. And why tourism is involved? Because in travel and tourism, your customer is looking for experience. At the end of the day, whenever you are traveling, nowadays the trend has changed. When I do a business travel, I try to integrate that with a leisure travel. So everything is all about experience, and experience only comes when there is a better hospitality. So that's how the travel and tourism gets integrated with the hospitality. The better the experience, the better the better the service, the better the experience.
Surely, sir. So, as you mentioned that there was a great impact, and the entire industry has been disrupted because of COVID. So majorly, sir, because like currently, initially during the first wave and the second wave, people were very reluctant to go out, and they were very uh, they were very aware about themselves that they should not do this. But during this current way, we can see that people are not taking those things as much as seriously as during the first or the second wave, because it was like there's a air created, there's a havoc created that it's not going to happen, it's just a spike for a few days and it will be going down. So has this current wave also affected the industry, or it's like it's on increasing side this time?
No, it has also impacted the industry. Although, the vaccination rate in India is quite significant. We have almost 1.5 crore of vaccination done, comprising of first and second jabs. But apparently, what happens, the more the contamination, the higher is the risk. Although the intensity of this Omicron is low, but, the transmission is quite significant. And what happens, if the transmissions are high, you cannot make people work, you cannot make people come closer. So that's how it impacts everything. And travel is one of the thing which gets impacted, because the mutation is significant. If you travel to a different countries, you don't know what kind of virus you will bring in. Even after Omicron, we have heard a news that there are other two mutation has taken place, and different viruses have been created. So the reason of restricting travel is to curtail the spread of this virus. Otherwise, what happens, people travel and they come out with something else. And unfortunately, if you see in India, every day we are touching 5,000 cases of Omicron, which are being brought by the international travelers. And the way India has surged, in terms of COVID, it is much higher than first and second wave. But only thing, good thing is, the impact is very minute. And in many of the cases, people are being cured even by paracetamol. It do not even require any antibiotics. But only thing is, the moment you get contaminated, you have to follow various level of protocols like isolation, quarantine, so on and so forth. So it impacts everything. So government doesn't want people to get into quarantine, and ultimately what happens, the economy get affected. And eventually, you have to restrict the malls, you have to restrict the hotels, you have to restrict various other activity to avoid the accumulation of people. So that's how this also has impacted. And impacted in the sense, we were awaiting a relaxation from government of India. That relaxation has gone on hold. Otherwise, travel is not restricted, but only thing is, uh, the international flights which were supposed to be commencing from November, wherein government decided to open up the tourism, is gone on hold. So it again impacts the economy, because if you have a foreign tourist coming in, there is a revenue that comes to your country. So that also impact the country in terms of its economic growth, in terms of travel and tourism. Because in last couple of years, India has really hit badly by COVID, as far as the tourism industry is concerned. And believe me, in December, the moment government opened up, the wave, started diluting the restriction. In December, the travel was highest. The domestic travel was highest as compared to the previous 2 years. So people are so inclined, so frustrated, so desperate to travel, that people are not bothered. But because of Omicron, now everything has come to standstill, and people cannot travel, because everywhere, wherever you have to travel, either if you travel more than 7 days, you have to be on home quarantine, or RT-PCR in spite of vaccination is mandatory. So people are very reluctant in traveling. So at least we expect that things should come to standstill. At least it should improve by March end, because the research said that the flattening of curve will definitely happen from mid of February, and by March we will see that things coming into normalcy. And hopefully from April or May, we would see that the tourism started picking up. So that's the apprehension from the industry experts.
It's very true, sir. And also, COVID has almost affected every industry, every sector.
Yeah,
Uh,
but travel is the one which is impacted
the
very
most.
badly, very
Yes,
bad.
yes, sir. Sir, as tourism and hospitality is a very vast industry, and majorly people don't know what are the skills that they require to get inside this industry, to enter this industry. So I would request you to focus on what are the skills, the basic skills which we can, adapt to enter the industry.
See, first thing is, Sneha, if you want to enter the travel and tourism, apart from a desired qualification, what you need to, as a as a professional, what you need to have within yourself as a talent, as a behavioral trait, is empathy. Because today it's all about experience. You will not believe that there are various countries overseas which have a robot managing front desking various 5-star 6-star hotel. But still, it's a human tendency that when I go and visit an hotel, I won't, like, robot welcoming me, because the apprehension is a human experience, human. And I would love to handshake and enjoy the personal feeling of handshake. So what happens when you, that's the reason, presence of human being in certain position is key important. So empathy is very important, because when you speak to any customer, you have to be very soft, you have to be very polite, because customers are very demanding. And many times you also encounter a customer who may be rich but who may be unqualified, so definitely he may not have the skills of representing himself. So at that time you should have versatility of managing that customer as well. Other thing is, you should have ability to work in a team, because in hospitality or in any hospitality industry, the job is very tedious, it's very humongous, and it is not fixed, it is very diverse, and it is like multitasking. You have to do various work at a time. Unless you work as a team, unless you have an ability to work as a team, you will never succeed. You should have ability to manage the stress. At the end of the day, what happens, the load is significant, and you should not give up your patience when you are overstressed. You should have control over your emotions, your patience, and at the end of the day you should be able to manage your stress very efficiently. And fourth thing is, you should be problem solver, because wherever you are, you will come out with various demands from a consumer, and you should see what best you can do. Maybe a consumer in a hotel can ask you for certain things which you at the moment may not have, but you should have an ability to either convince him or at least try to arrange that in a short notice, because at the end of the day, consumer expects positivity, he don't expect negativity. The moment one person replies in a negative way, he will discard the brand completely. One an example, if I go to Redison and if I have a bad experience, eventually I will never visit any Redison brand across the globe. So that is how consumer treat this kind of experience. And then the fourth thing is techno savvy, because today technology is emerging, and he should be able to adapt the change in any technology that takes within the organization, because technology is your key support, and the more early you are able to adapt or collaborate with technology, the better is for your efficiency to be grown. So these are some of the skill set which ideal skill set which any person who want to explore his career in hospitality should possess.
Surely, sir. So as you mentioned the word adaptability, and as we know that over the period of time, the only thing which a person or as a human being we need to adapt is technology. So moving to major question of today's talk is how is IT affecting, or what is the major role of IT in tourism and hospitality industry, sir?
IT plays a major role in tourism and hospitality industry, which not only makes the saving of cost, but it gives an opportunity in creating a better experience and itineraries. You may, I don't know whether you are aware or not, 10 years back, maybe a decade back, we used to get printed tickets, and we were supposed to get the boarding pass collected from airport, for which we used to report couple of hours early, because the queue used to be quite significantly big. But ever since technology has given an option of e-ticket and e-boarding passes, the whole thing has reduced the the turnover of crowd within an airport. So the experience of customer has become so smooth, so that he do not have to report airport 2 hours in time. He can go well in advance, ensuring that he doesn't waste his time in just hanging around in the airport. So he can get e-ticket, he can get e-boarding pass, and he can just check in and you know get into the flight. Second thing is, IoT and artificial intelligence chatbots are creating a lot of values within the hospitality industry. Today, you don't require larger human intervention, within the hospitality industry, because majority of your queries are answered by chatbots. And your chatbots are even able to issue your boarding passes. Artificial intelligence captures your preferences. The moment you travel for the first time, and based on your preferences, those information get captured. So the next time, the moment you travel, you will ensure that you get all those facility as per your preferences. Like if you prefer an aisle seat, if you prefer a window seat, automatically the artificial intelligence will command the booker that this is what the preference is and this is how the ticket should be released. So personally, a person do not have to, the booker do not have to call you and ask, sir, which seat you want, whether you want aisle, middle, or corner seat. So that is what artificial intelligence is playing a significant role. Technology is playing significant role even in saving costs, because what happens in an organization, earlier the booking used to be, everything used to be routed through an email, and the control over the discipline was very meager. But the moment we introduce travel booking platform or travel booking you know portal, lot of discipline has been brought, and your policy mandate management or execution has been very smooth. Because what happens, your portal won't allow you to proceed unless you comply the requirement of the policy. If you try to select any flight beyond cheap airlines, your portal won't proceed. You have to select only the airlines which are cheap and which are close to your itinerary timings. So that's how a lot of discipline has been brought. And your data analytic is very one of the key factor when you, at the end of the day, you negotiate your contracts, your portal gives you entire statistics of the total historical data of traveler, which sector they have traveled more, which hotels they have stayed more, so that when you negotiate your contract with the airlines or the hotels, you have explicit figure in hand to bargain. Earlier, we used to rely on Excel or the financial record, and the data used to be highly unreasonable. So now with this technology coming into picture, your data analytics has become quite realistic and quite influencing in not only managing the discipline but also ensuring that you are able to get into a better deals. And again, technology plays important role in creating various itinerary, because today if you have various apps within your phone, you can just log in and find out the best itinerary for your personal travel. Because if you the algorithms and all will keep on popping you. The moment you put some query, automatically you will start receiving various information in lieu of algorithms. So technology is emerging, and going forward we will see technology playing key important role. So that's how technology plays significant part in travel and hospitality industry.
Definitely, sir. So as you mentioned about majorly about airlines, we have seen this in while booking bus tickets and also railway tickets also.
Correct.
So if you want a particularly if you want a window seat, you'll get a window seat. While booking this train tickets, they give you an option whether you prefer which kind of berth you will be preferring, or else previously it was like आपको जो berth मिला है, that's your final berth. You won't be able to change it over the period of time. So that's definitely a great update in travel and tourism industry. Also, I guess one more thing which has added to it is if we talk about particularly about only about hotels, so we get to know what kind of hotel and what kind of rooms are there.
Exactly.
Previously what used to happen that when we used to check in, then we used to get then we used to know that okay, these kinds of room are there, then it might differ that we might be satisfied with the rooms or not. But now we know how which kinds of room are available and which kind of room will be suitable for us. So that's also I think which has played an
Yeah,
important
yeah,
role.
yeah. The inventory details are with you so that you are aware. If at all you the inventory don't suits your requirement, you can skip to other hotel.
Exactly. Moving on, Sneha, you can proceed with your question.
So, as we all know that there are many factors that are affecting the tourism and hospitality industry, like both positively as well as negatively. So, what are the major ones that affect this industry?
The first thing which impact this industry is the environmental factor. Because if the environment of a country is not suitable, in spite of having a good destination, you will have a dropout in travelers coming into that country. So there are an example that that country was known for one of the best glaciers, but then as the glaciers started shrinking because of the global warming, apparently the tourism rate has fallen. So the environment plays a very significant role in driving the tourism. The second factor is historical significance, because what happens if you see the tourists are very passionate about knowing the history of every country, and especially if you see, Taj Mahal. Agra is a small town, but then it is known in the map because of Taj Mahal. Egypt for its monuments. So people love traveling to these countries because of their historical background. The other part is religious significance. People do like believe, visiting those places which has significantly religious significance. Especially in India, Char Dham, then 12 Jyotirlings, then Mecca, Medina. These are the places wherein you will find the volume of tourism is significantly high because of their fascination towards the religious demand. Then other thing is technology, because people want to visit those countries which are which are significantly high in technology, because they would want a better experience. Like if they visit an hotel, they would want the demand should be sufficed at the earliest. Everything should be through app, everything should be through robotic. Like if I have any demand, I will put my request in app, and automatically the robot will come and serve me. So they want these kind of experiences. So technology also plays significantly larger role in driving the tourism. So these are some of the factors which drives tourists when they plan out their itineraries.
Surely, sir. So as we move ahead, there's this comment from Himanshu saying travel and tourism industry directly impacts the economic development of the country. I would request you to put some light on that thing, that how does like we majorly have an idea, but definitely you being from that field, it will be really helpful that if you could give us a good idea about how tourism and hospitality impacts economy of the country.
See, it impacts the economy drastically. As I, in the initial phrases, told you that India has contributed 4.9 times higher than their previous contribution to the GDP. Now, how it contributes? One thing is, you have a lot of foreigner coming into country. When the tourists visit your country, there is a lot of foreign exchange that is being pumped into the country, and then apparently, your infrastructure, your hotels, your restaurants will get a business, and definitely that these are the your tourist places will get revenue, and that's how the revenues are generated. You have lot of theme parks, amusement park, which are paid and being used. So that's how the revenue is generated. Now, because of this significant, country like Dubai and all also have started pulling even Abu Dhabi has started attracting tourists by creating a lot of theme and amusement park. So there are a lot of like historical monuments and all. Tourists definitely come and visit, and as when tourists travel, definitely there is larger revenue that comes to your country. Then the air travel, the bus travel, the railway travel. So there is a lot of revenue that comes through these modes of transport. So apparently, the higher the travel happening, the larger the revenue that goes to the government.
Very true, sir. Uh, Sir, currently Corona has affected every industry so much. Like there are many other risks which are involved and which affect every industry. So like the risk of uncertainty is for most important. Like we are suffering from that risk till date, and it has been years that we have not been able to move ahead at our older pace. So what are the other risks that are associated with this industry, tourism and hospitality?
There are various risks that are associated with these industries, and some of them I would like to spell out is the cyber security, which is one of the very significant risk. Because what happens, every customer wants their data to be preserved safely and in a secured way, but many a times with poor technology in place, or lack of proper uh, system to restrict the hackers, it happens that your data get exposed. And couple of years back, a big chain of hotel got exposed because of this entire database of the customers was exposed in the market. So data security is still continued to be one of the significant risks. The other risk is, basically, if you talk about the hygiene part, in case, the hotel is not in a position to provide proper facilities and hygiene factor, in spite of being a branded hotel, you will definitely lose, customers moving your hotel, because today customers are well aware that what kind of, hygiene parameters the hotel should follow. So this is one of the risks that happens. Then other risk is, the risk of branding, because what happens, many a times, there are hotels which try to infringe the brand of other brand, and what happens, due to which, there is a significant chance that the other brand will create a lawsuit against that hotel. And it has happened in past. A big chain of hotel tried to infringe the brand name of some other hotel, and apparently the said chain of hotel filed a suit against that. So branding is one of the risk. Then second is your staff, because what happens in hotel industry, the industry is very well connected, and what happens when there is a talent within your hotel, there is a massive chance that the competition will poach him. So that's the risk which most of the hotels are exposed to, and that's the reason there is massive attrition in every hotel. And then the other one which I would like to touch upon is guest behavior. Normally what happens when a customer visit your hotel, he would expect a smooth transition and a very healthy environment. In one of the instance, what has happened in a five-star branded hotel, five people fell sick because of some contamination in food, and one of them died. And apparently all of them filed a suit against that hotel, and that impacted the whole chain very badly. So these are very significant threat to the hotel and hospitality industry, wherein the lack of attention can take your task, take you into task. So that these are some of the things which I want to share.
Definitely, sir. As you talked about various factors, and these are the major risk that takes place. Also, there is a comment from Omkar Bohir saying that does poor infrastructure impact on tourism sector? And I guess this is also one of the risk which is involved, like poor infrastructure. So I would like to answer that
Yeah,
question.
absolutely. Poor infrastructure impact the tourism industry, because what happens if you don't have an infrastructure, you will not have a traveler coming into your countries. So in I was in one of the conference in 2019 as a speaker, and in you will not believe that in that panel I had most of the builders from the real estate sector being part of that forum. Why they came into that forum? To justify the delegates that infrastructure is a mandatory requirement for growth of economy, and the better the environment in terms of infrastructure is, the higher the penetration of tourism that comes into picture. For an example, you are looking for you know convention center, but then if your convention center is not well equipped, definitely you will not visit the destination to particular place. So that's the reason I have seen Kerala has come out with lot of development, and the way they are trying to pull tourism to them, there are a lot of development happening in terms of convention center, in terms of hotels and so on and so forth, because poor infrastructure is clearly visible, and today customer requires massive experience. And if at all, and that experience comes from a good infrastructure. If your infrastructure is absolute or poor, you will never have a customer visiting your hotel. And that's the reason it's very imperative for every hotel or chain of hotel to keep them appraised of the future trends and the development, and keep their infrastructure in line with the future trend. The moment you slip, you will be out of business.
Definitely, sir. So, as you told that this is very important, and I guess also this is one of the challenges which is being faced in the tourism industry. Talking about challenges, if we move ahead, what are the biggest challenges that the tourism and hospitality industry face?
There are a lot of challenges which the industry is facing. One of the challenges is as I say, people's ability to spend, because people are very demanding. So now what happens? Today the hotel don't demands the rate. It is the customer who demands the rate. And apparently what happens, many a time hotel do have to compromise, and many a time that compromise become downfall of service level. So the challenges are very humongous. And apparently what happens, in case you are not able to cater to a customer's need, you will be blacklisted immediately. So it's very important that you have to be very very particular when you handle the customer need, otherwise you will be out of the business.
Very true, sir. So, what are the current and future trends which are prevailing and which are supposed to happen in tourism and hospitality industry?
Neha, the trend post COVID has changed drastically. So I will not talk about the trends prior to 2020. The trend as of today are completely different as compared to what prevailed pre-COVID. And the trends are basically, the destination has become a key factor, because today people are more inclined to travel in a domestic itinerary rather than traveling overseas. Or alternatively, people are trying to travel the short hauls as compared to long hauls, because people are very skeptical in traveling to a longer destination, because most of the corporates or individual travelers are comfortable traveling. There are a lot of destinations within India which can be explored. So those destinations are now coming into limelight, and people are trying to explore the local traveler. The major thing for this preference is because of the intense the travel regulations which has come into picture. First thing is, you don't have connectivity all across the globe, and many countries have either not recognized your vaccine, or many countries have not allowed you to travel to those destinations. Like for an example, if I have to travel to Singapore, in spite of fact that Singapore is quite safe, the rate of the percentage of positive rate is highly negligible, but they have restricted India from traveling. So I cannot travel to Singapore. Dubai, yes, I can travel. Sri Lanka, yes, I can travel. So people are preferring to travel. The itineraries which are within the bandwidth of 2 hours, 1.5 hours, and to avoid any kind of further exposure. And again, because of travel restriction, because people also don't want to travel to international destination because of multiple RT-PCR. For example, if you have to travel to Dubai, there are 5 RT-PCR you have to do. So people are very very skeptical in traveling, because it's highly painful and it's too expensive. Your travel cost will be maybe 50,000 rupees, but your RT-PCR cost will be around 20,000. So people don't find value for money in such kind of thing. So again, this is one of the trend which people are looking for. Then people are looking for customized itinerary. They are not looking for the historical or the conventional itineraries, because now they have understood that they would like to visit a destination which is quite safe and secure. And apparently they are trying to create itineraries of their own. And people are now trying to incline themselves to travel towards a place which is highly sustainable and environmental friendly. And if I have to talk about the future trends, basically sustainability will be one of the key factor. And apparently with the millennials and Gen Z coming into place, definitely the trend will be to explore that they travel to a destination which is green and environmental friendly. They would like to prefer an hotel which is approved by any of the industry body, which says that this hotel is under the green building council approval. They would like to take a fly a flight which is using a fuel which is carbon, which is having a higher carbon emission parameters. So that's the trend which we can look into the future part.
Definitely, sir. So
So
as you particularly As you have particularly mentioned about COVID and post-COVID, also there is a question in comment section also, and that was a thing which I was going to come upon. That which strategies and tools you will recommend for tourism industry to overcome recession during and post-COVID?
See, first thing is, today customer is highly focused on safety and hygiene. And definitely, you need to consistently demonstrate that your hotel are following all hygiene parameter. See, the issue is, people forget things when things started dropping down, because I have personally seen, I have traveled various international destination in last 6 months, and I have seen, whether within country or outside country, people don't follow protocols. And in the hotel industry or the hospitality body don't follow the protocol, basic things like social distancing, thermal scanning, these are not being taken care of. And touchless infrastructure, these are not being taken care of. So apparently, the hospitality industry should emphasize on every industry attached to the hospitality industry to demonstrate that they are well capable and they are well managing, the hygiene parameter. Otherwise, definitely what will happen, people will not visit apparently, your hotel, and they will, because they know that your hotel don't have sanitizer, your hotel don't have thermal scanning. So it's not only me, I don't know what about the other person, if he happens to be, a contaminated person, he can be threat to all. So your screening mechanism need to be very strong, and this is going to be a trend for future, because people would definitely prefer a destination or a hotel which is, very strongly evolved in managing the hygiene and safety of their their customers. Secondly, the importance of technology should be significantly brought into picture. And the, more the touchless fundamental is brought, the higher the, amount of travelers we would want, we will prefer visiting those sites. We have seen, the commercial buildings have brought touchless economy and touchless concept into picture, wherein the elevators and everything is so it can be, managed by your voice. So if the commercial building can do it, why can't hotels? So people are very skeptical, and the more you focus towards hygiene and you demonstrate that yes, you are managing that hygiene by putting some dashboard, by putting some kind of, demonstration to a TV and all those things which is visible to the travelers, the more visibility you will get, and the more, passengers would be inclined to visit your place.
Definitely, sir. So, as you mentioned that these are the strategies which can be implied, because majorly after this thing, hygiene and sanitization is something which major people look into. So, sir, talking about if I particularly talk about you, if I particularly ask about you, so what are your favorite five destinations, international and national, sir? What are your favorite five destinations to visit in terms of tourism and hospitality?
See, I would definitely promote my country towards, the destination, because India is now much ahead when it comes to, tourism management. India has lot of hidden destination. If you go to Far East, you know, or Northeast, you will find, the destination which no one has experienced. So I will definitely recommend people to visit places like Meghalaya, Tripura, maybe, and Kerala definitely one of the best destination. At least these are the three destination for me if I have to touch upon, India. And overseas for me, the destination always remains to be, one is Singapore definitely, and Dubai always remain my prominent destination, because of, my passion for electrical gadgets and so on and so forth. So these are my five destinations.
Surely, sir. So also there is I guess I'm a little late to ask this question, but also most of the time, like hospitality is majorly just associated with how a company or a particular hotel or a tourism industry, how it treats users or its visitors or its travelers. So is it hospitality is just about treatment, or what is hospitality in broader terms?
Hospitality is all about experience. Today you get significance the way you add value to people's life in giving an experience. There are two hotels, and both the hotels will have different, mode of services. and that's how you prefer them. You make your choice as a preferred choice. Like there is a Taj which continues to be a preferred brand for everyone, irrespective of the cost. Taj always continues to be the highest hotel, chargeable hotel, but it has never compromised on it in its cost, because it never compromised in its quality. Whereas you will see people shrinking the cost, but then unfortunately what happens, the more you shrink the cost, you are bound to compromise the quality. So hospitality is all about experience. The more you add value to your customer, the more attraction you get, and the more customer database you get.
Also, sir, previously, not talking about COVID, but before in the before times, there was a there was not a trend, but people majorly used to follow quantity over quality. So has this trend currently changed, wherein people are following more quality over quantity, or still people are preferring quantity over quality?
No, so for people today, quantity and quality is aside, safety has become paramount. So people would definitely not compromise on the cost as of today. People will definitely look for a destination which is safe and secured. It should not happen that, somebody is traveling from India to certain destination without COVID, but he goes there and, he gets contaminated and comes to India with COVID. That becomes a nightmare. So definitely, people are, and we are all aware that COVID is something which is not going to go at least in next 2 3 years, and but then for next 2 3 years you cannot restrict your business, you cannot restrict your travel, you cannot restrict your leisure and luxury experiences, so definitely you are bound to travel. So what happens, you will definitely prefer safety as your first parameter. So that's how I would like to interpret my personal experience to that.
Surely, sir. So moving ahead with one last question for today's session, before we proceed with the vote of thanks. That what would be your message to the students who are willing to pursue in hospitality and tourism industry? Also for also for the the people who are currently working and are thinking of shifting to industry, but they are not very much sure whether this will be helpful for them or not. So, what would be your message to them?
See, what happens, this industry is such that there are a lot of courses which is available for, any student who want to pursue their career in hospitality industry. Like, for certain function like admin, there is no, specific course available. Anybody who want to go into administration either has to be MBA in HR or, just a graduate. But then this, for vertical presents lot of courses, like if you want to get into a travel part into airlines or something at that sort, there is an IATA course applicable, wherein you can become an official IATA agent. You can issue a ticket, which is a mandatory requirement for any travel agent. So then you can do MBA in hotel management, you can do MBA in hospitality management. So there are a lot of courses available, but other than that, you as an MBA in IT, or MBA in sales and marketing or MBA in brand and communication definitely has huge potential in this industry, because of growing demand for IT security, growing demand for sales, growing demand for brand and communication. So no, these are the qualification which will definitely drive you to any of the hospitality industry.
Surely, sir. Surely. Thank you so much for that particular answer, and I guess it will be very helpful for most of the students. Sneha, I would now request you to please proceed with the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shivang. Firstly, I would like to thank our speaker of the day, Dr. Abhijeet Sarkar, for taking out time from his busy schedule and providing us with this amazing and very informative session. I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to Sri Sunil Rane, Executive President, Atharva Group, for providing us various platforms like this one for interaction. Ms. Varsha Rane ma'am, Ms. Pallavi Rane ma'am, Trustee, Atharva Group, Dr. R.G. Ratnawat, Director, AIMS, Dr. Harshita Kumar, Director, ASB, for giving us such a great platform to interact with people and help enhance our knowledge, and also guiding us in all the events and giving their knowledge to bring the best from us. Dr. Shubhilal Agarwal, Director, IQAC AIMS, for connecting us to intellectual capital across the globe and helping us gain so much of knowledge. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our torch bearers, our student coordinators, Mr. Piyush Chaudhary for designing flyers and helping in digital marketing, and Mr. Shivang Sharma for coordinating and co-hosting the show. Without their help and support, this event wouldn't have been possible. Their hard work and willingness to give one and all a pleasant experience has made this program a grand success. We wish to see you all in the next episode of IT Talks with the same enthusiasm. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sneha, and thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and valuable inputs. We'll be looking forward to again invite you on one more episode and share your insights, because you have worked in so many lot of fields that even if we can conduct an entire series of IT talks only with you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so
sir.
Thank you.